What's up, everybody? It's Ginger Yeti, and I'm checking in from home. It's a cold winter evening here in Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm getting in some beers. So what I have for you today is another beer that was a gift from Albert up in Canada. And unfortunately, I don't remember when he gave this to me. I think he gave this to me about a year ago, actually. But luckily, this is a stout, so it should still be good. And this is the Bourbon, I'm going to mispronounce this, Érable. I don't know. I don't speak French, but the Bourbon Érable from Beauregard Brasserie. And this is another cool beer from that microbrewery that I'm sure is going to be excellent. They have this kind of, their can always looks kind of the same, like that design on it, just in different colors. On the label here, it says something in French that looks kind of like, what does that look like? Special edition. I can read that. It says edition spéciale, so special edition. That's cool. As I blind everybody with this flashlight. It's at 9.8% alcohol, 25 IBU. And there is a little bit of writing on the back about the can. Unfortunately, it's only in French. And it's strange because, like, they're from Montreal, and France, wow, my apologies. Canada is a dual language country, English and French. And around the rest of the country, all the beers usually have everything in English and French. But for some reason, a lot of the beers in Quebec province only have them in French. Kind of weird, but whatever. I use Google Translate to translate the back of it. And according to Google Translate, it says, Maple Bourbon, a blend of barrel imperial stout in bourbon barrels and imperial stout fermented with maple syrup. Smooth and warm, this extra strong beer delivers aromas of sugar, coca, and roasted grains. That sounds delicious to me. A nice maple bourbon stout sounds amazing. Hopefully it's as good as it sounds. I need to clean this desk off. So I'm going to get into it. Thank you, Albert. Really appreciate it. Sorry it's taking me so long to get to this beer, but at least it's a stout. On Untapped, it was listed as the Bourbon Érable 2023. So I'm guessing this is at least a year old, if not a year and a half. I'm trying to remember when he might have given this to me. Maybe December last year, or it might have been even before then. Who knows? It's always a pleasure hanging out with him, trading beers and talking. So on Untapped, this gets a 4.12. It's only 71 check-ins because this is a very small microbrewery. But they generally make excellent beers. Let's find out. It does have a temperature on here. I'm going to play with my little thermometer in a minute and see if I have it at the right serving temperature. I'm guessing I probably do. Like I said, on tap, 4.12, 71 check-ins, nothing on Beer Advocate. Getting like a nice natural vanilla. Almost dipped my beak in there. Just a hint of bourbon, but not any maple. I expected to get maybe a hint of maple, and maybe because, I mean, it is a stout, so you can age them just fine, but maybe because this is over a year old, that the aromatics have kind of died down. And that's just midnight black, pitch black. That is so dark. As I'm holding it up, I can see my reflection so clearly in the glass that I can read my t-shirt and read the signs behind me. I mean, that is as black can be, which is crazy. I mean, 40 plus. It's a nice little half finger nails worth of chocolatey tan head that's just kind of sitting there. And the can does say 11 to 16C. Play with my little toy here. 17C, so it's just a little bit warmer than recommended, but not by much. So let's go get on into it. Thank you very much, Albert. Really appreciate the beer. It's always a pleasure seeing you and hanging out with you. Cheers, everybody. That is thick. That is thick. There's some nice alcohol warming going down, which is perfect for this weather right now. Because it's around 0, -1 here in Cleveland. That is C, so about 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And gusty wind. I mean, once in a while I can hear the house creaking. It's so windy. But besides from that, I mean, nice alcohol warming. Do get some like maple sweetness, a lot of vanilla, some like chocolate, I guess would be the cocoa, roasty grains. Yeah, it's nice roasty, chocolatey. There's some sugary sweetness. And, from that description, even though they call it maple bourbon, which I guess must be a play on the Sordelais, which is their maple syrup whiskey. I'm not getting a whole lot of maple. I mean, it is fermented with maple syrup. Not getting a whole lot of maple, but the description does say that you should get, what have I just done? Somehow I just zoomed in. Smooth and warm, yeah. Extra strong beer delivers aromas of sugar, cocoa, and roasted grains. Well, I mean, aromas. I guess it doesn't tell you about the flavor at all. I don't know if you can trust Google Translate. But yeah, that's... chocolatey vanilla, some sugary sweetness, which is probably from the maple syrup. A little bit of bourbon. It's a nice beer. Yeah, you really get a lot of that chocolate on the back end. Again, I'm surprised there's not more maple flavor, more maple forward flavor. But this is, once again, a really, really good beer. I'd give this beer a big horns up. Every beer I've had from this brewery, Beauregard Brasserie, has been outstanding. I have yet to have a bad beer from them. I've only ever had beers from them, from my good friend Albert. Really appreciate you always bringing me these beers. I mean, I would never see these beers. I would never, ever in a million years see these beers if it wasn't for you, my friend. Really appreciate it. If you're in that area of Canada, maybe Shane or the Alkanauts or somebody like that up there can find some of these beers. Maybe they make it to Montreal for something. You should definitely go to that brewery and check it out. This is just another excellent, excellent beer. It's always an adventure crossing the border on tour. It's always an adventure hanging out with Albert. Always have good times. And you know what I say, embrace the adventure. Thanks, Albert. Cheers.